Hello and welcome to the Mastermind semi-finals with me, Clive Myrie. In the spotlight tonight are Graham Jackson, a charity events manager whose specialist subject is the British war poet Wilfred Owen. Anthony Fish, a community safety officer whose subject is 20th century heavyweight boxing championship fights. Ro Dunn's a retired marketing manager. Her subject, the American sitcom Frasier. And Andrew Fanko, a freelance translator. He'll be answering questions on African World Heritage sites. It is the ultimate quizzing prize, becoming this year's Mastermind champion. And our 4 contenders are all in with a shot, a real shot. It's not just some crazy pipe dream now. One of our semi-finalists could go all the way and claim the famous Mastermind glass bowl. Who will it be after 2 minutes of specialist subject questions and 2.5 minutes of general knowledge? We wish them all well. So now, can I ask our first semi-finalist to join us, please? Your name?
Graham Jackson.
Your occupation?
Charity events manager.
And your specialist subject?
Wilfred Owen.
The British war poet who served on the Western Front. In 2 minutes, starting now, Wilfred Owen's well-known statement made in his own preface to his works is, above all, I am not concerned with poetry. My subject is war and the what of war.
Pity.
Yes, after Birkenhead Institute, Owen attended what technical school where his interest in literature and nature are said to have been influenced by 2 teachers, Miss Wright and Miss Jones.
Shrewsbury.
Yes, 2 spirits woke me from my sleep this morn is the opening line of the early poem written according to its title on the occasion of which birthday?
15th?
No, 19th birthday. Who was the French poet from the so-called decadent movement whom Owen met while teaching English in Bagnères de Bigorre, France, in the summer of 1914, and who influenced Owen's views on modern poetry?
Telhead.
Yes, Laurent Thiard, the regiment that Owen joined as an officer in June 1916, whose men he described as dogged, coarse, Saxons to the bone, shared its name with which city?
Manchester.
Yes, in the opening lines of his poem Beauty, Owen attributes to the philosopher Kant the idea that the beautiful, the fair, the elegant is that which, what?
True.
No, pleases us. What was the title of the Craig Lockett War Hospital magazine, which Owen helped edit while he was a patient there recuperating from shell shock?
The Hydra.
Yes, in a letter to his mother in October 1917, Owen said that the word anthem for his poem Anthem for Doomed Youth had been suggested by which fellow patient at Craig Lockett?
Sassoon.
Yes, Siegfried Sassoon. What title, which he refers to as being the philosophy of many soldiers, did Owen give to the poem which begins, Sit on the bed, I'm blind and 3-part shell?
Mental cases?
No, a tear. What was the name of the friend based at the War Office who tried but failed to get Owen a home posting as a cadet instructor in 1918?
Charles Scott Moncrief.
Yes, Owen was posthumously awarded the Military Cross for conspicuous gallantry and devotion to duty in the attack on which line in October 1918, 1 month before his death?
The Hindenburg.
No, the Fonson line. What 3 words follow all death will he annul in the poem The End, but were omitted along with a question mark from the inscription on Owen's gravestone at Or, France, by his mother Susan?
All tears assuage.
It was All Tears Assuage. And Graham, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 8 points. And our next contender, please. Your name?
Anthony Fish.
Your occupation?
Community safety officer.
And your specialist subject?
20th century heavyweight boxing championship fights.
Yes, the bouts that saw some of the most famous fighters and greatest rivalries in the sport's history. In 2 minutes, starting now, who survived a first-round knockdown in his 1952 fight with Jersey Joe Walcott to win the world heavyweight title for the first time?
Rocky Marciano.
Yes, at which venue in New York City did the Swede Ingemar Johansson upset Floyd Patterson to win the NBA heavyweight title in 1959?
Yankee Stadium.
Yes, which fighter did George Foreman knock out in the 10th round of their 1994 bout to become world heavyweight champion again at the age of 45?
Michael Moorer.
Yes, how much was Muhammad Ali, then Cassius Clay, fined for his unruly behaviour at the weigh-in for his first fight against Sonny Liston?
$2,500?
Yes. In which round did Oliver McCall stop Lennox Lewis, causing a huge upset and claiming the WBC title in 1994?
2.
Second round, yes, who controversially lost his WBA title in 1984 when he was knocked out almost 4 minutes into the 8th round after the timekeeper had made a mistake and allowed the round to overrun.
Coetzee?
Yes, Jerry Coetzee. Which boxer lost his title to Joe Louis in 1937, having agreed to the fight on the condition that he received a share of Louis's fight purses for the next 10 years if Louis won?
Braddock?
Yes. Which boxer lost his WBA title to Tim Witherspoon and then pulled out of a rematch the same year, allowing James Bone Crusher Smith to take the title from Witherspoon?
Tubbs?
Tony Tubbs. Yes. Who was Lennox Lewis's trainer when he lost to Oliver McCall in 1994, with Lewis then replacing him with McCall's trainer Emmanuel Stewart following the defeat?
Pepe Correa?
Yes. Which fighter lost his title to Jersey Joe Walcott in July 1951, despite having beaten him earlier that year and also in 1949?
Ezzard Charles?
Yes. After the disappointment of losing to Michael Spinks in 1985 and failing to equal Rocky Marciano's unbeaten run of 49 fights, Larry Holmes remarked that Marciano couldn't carry my what?
Jockstrap?
Yes. When Jack Sharkey lost his title to Primo Carnera in 1933, he claimed to have seen the ghost of which boxer who died after being knocked out by Carnera in his previous fight?
Ernie Schaff?
Yes. Whom did Michael Dokes defeat to win the WBA title at Caesars Palace in 1982 after the referee Joey Curtis controversially stopped the fight after only 63 seconds?
Weaver?
Yes, it was Mike Weaver. And Anthony, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've scored 13 points. And our next contender, please. Your name,
Rodans,
your occupation,
retired marketing manager.
and your specialist subject.
The American sitcom Frasier.
Yes, the long-running American sitcom starring Kelsey Grammer as a Seattle radio psychiatrist. In 2 minutes, starting now. What's the name of the pet dog that Frasier's father Martin insists on bringing to live with him in Frasier's apartment in the opening episode?
Eddie.
Yes, My Coffee with Niles is set entirely at what fictional Seattle coffee shop, often frequented by the show's main characters?
Cafe Nervosa.
Yes, in Frasier Grinch, when Frasier's Christmas presents for his son Frederick don't arrive, he pays a stranger $300 for his bag of gifts from which educational toy store?
Science World.
No, Young Minds, when Frasier's radio producer Roz Doyle gives birth to a baby girl in the episode The Life of the Party. What name does she give her?
Alice May.
Yes. What's the name of the peculiar little man from Building Services whom Daphne asks to help store some furniture when she moves into Frasier's apartment as Martin's new carer?
Gennaro Delito.
No, Kyle. Niles believes that his wife Maris inherited her wealth from timber until his lawyer Donnie reveals that it actually came from what products?
Urinal cakes.
Yes, in Breaking the Ice, what are Niles' first words to Frasier when he arrives at his apartment dressed in winter clothes and holding a large fishing net?
Pass.
In Miracle on 3rd or 4th Street, which actor and comedian plays Tom, the radio caller, who, according to Frasier, wins the prize for the saddest Christmas story we've heard today?
Tom Hanks.
No, Mel Brooks. In Head Game, Frasier reminds Niles that when he went to an opera with Maris's sister Bree, she smuggled in an adorably incontinent dog. Of what breed in her ermine muff?
Chihuahua.
Yes, Noel Shempsky, who works at Frasier's radio station KACL, reveals that which Star Trek actor has a restraining order against him?
William Shatner.
Yes, in the Halloween episode Tales from the Crypt, what's the name of the boy with whom Daphne's mother Gertrude, played by Millicent Martin, engages in an escalating series of practical jokes?
Harvey.
No, Jason White. In Ham Radio, Frasier directs a live version of what play to commemorate KACL's 50th anniversary?
The Murder on...
No, Nightmare Inn. What name does Martin give to the pigeon that he claims Eddie has befriended in the episode Frasier Light?
Pass.
Time's up, so I can tell you the answer. It was Barney. And you had one other pass in Breaking the Ice. What are Niles' first words to Frasier when he arrives at his apartment dressed in winter clothes? Call me Ishmael. And at the end of that round, Ro, you've got 6 points.
Thank you.
And our final contender, please. Your name?
Andrew Fanko.
Yes, Andrew, you were pipped at the post in the heats, but you were the highest scoring runner-up, so you're back taking the place of Ashley Evans, who can't, I'm afraid, be here tonight, so thanks for joining us. And your occupation?
Freelance translator.
And your specialist subject?
African World Heritage Sites.
Yes, the natural and cultural locations in Africa designated by UNESCO as World Heritage Sites. In 2 minutes, starting now, which South African island where Nelson Mandela was imprisoned is described by UNESCO as symbolising the triumph of the human spirit of freedom and of democracy over oppression?
Robben Island.
Yes, the Zhuge National Bird Sanctuary, a 16,000-hectare wetland ecosystem which provides a habitat for more than 1.5 million migratory birds, is in which country?
Senegal.
Yes, which heritage site in southeastern Africa is said by UNESCO to have an importance for the study of evolution comparable to that of the Galapagos Islands?
Malotti Drakensberg.
No, Lake Malawi National Park, which island and oceanic port of West Africa was once the capital of the French territories of Senegal and Mauritania?
Saint Louis.
Yes, the 11 medieval monolithic rock-hewn churches in northern Ethiopia that have been described as a New Jerusalem are attributed to which king whose reign ended in 1221?
Zagwe.
No, Lalibela, which World Heritage Site is described by UNESCO as the only coastal desert in the world that includes extensive dune fields influenced by fog?
Namib Sansi.
Yes, which dam that regulates the flow of the river Zambezi is considered by UNESCO to be the greatest threat to the integrity of Mana Pools National Park, Sapi, and Chiwori safari areas?
Zambezi Dam.
No, the Kariba Dam. The Muzi Watunya, also known as the Victoria Falls, is a breeding site for an endangered species of falcon named after which range of hills in Kenya?
Ruwenzori.
No, Taita. The Sanga Trinational is a transboundary conservation complex at the meeting point of Cameroon, the Republic of Congo, and which other country?
Central African Republic.
Yes, a series of 18 interconnected lakes, part of the lakes of Union Gar, World Heritage Site in Chad, lies in which plateau area of the Sahara Desert?
NAD.
Yes, which national park is the only site on Earth known to be home to 3 great ape species, the mountain gorilla, the eastern lowland gorilla, and the eastern chimpanzee?
Windy Impenetrable.
No, Virunga National Park, which site on an island off the coast of Kenya and characterized by buildings made from coral stone and mangrove timber, is said to be the oldest and best preserved Swahili settlement in East Africa?
The old town of Lamu.
It is Lamu Old Town. And Andrew, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 7 points.
Okay.
And at the end of the specialist subjects round, let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 6 points, it's Ro. In 3rd place with 7 points, it's Andrew. In 2nd place with 8 points, it's Graham. And in 1st place with 13 points, it's Anthony. So now, the general knowledge round. And if there's a tie at the end, then the number of passes is taken into account, and the person with the fewer passes is the winner. And if they're tied on passes as well, then it's a tie break. So let's ask Ro to join us again, please. So, Ro, you start with 6 points. You've now got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Starting now. Philly is an informal name for which American city in Pennsylvania?
Philadelphia.
Yes, which Labour politician succeeded Tony Blair as UK Prime Minister in 2007 and served in the role until 2010?
Gordon Brown.
Yes, which pop singer whose UK hit singles include Ciao Adios and 2002 succeeded Meghan Trainor as a coach on the 2021 series of the television talent show The Voice UK?
Pixie Lott.
No, Anne-Marie. What term from the French for little bundle was traditionally applied to the clothing and household linen with which a bride began married life?
Pass.
Which Asian country became the first new sovereign state of the 21st century in May 2002 after 3 years of civil administration and peacekeeping by the United Nations?
Jordan.
No, East Timor. While he was a member of the Sex Pistols, the singer John Lydon used what stage name?
Johnny Rotten.
Yes, what edible fruit is grown commercially on a species of palm tree with the scientific name Phoenix dactylifera?
Coconuts.
No, date. At the start of a game of chess, which piece occupies a square on the back row between a bishop and the king?
Rook.
No, queen. What's the name of the football stadium in Glasgow that's the home of the Bill Struth main stand and the Sandy Jardine stand, previously known as the Govan stand?
Pass.
What's the name given to the First World War sea battle of 1914 in which a Royal Navy fleet sank several German warships in the South Atlantic, including the armoured cruisers Scharnhorst and Gneisenau?
Jutland.
No, the Battle of the Falkland Islands. In the 2016 film Suicide Squad and its 2021 sequel, Margot Robbie plays which DC Comics character?
Superwoman.
No, Harley Quinn. Which city served as the official capital of West Germany from 1949 to 1990 and was the seat of the united German government until the completion of its move to Berlin?
Munich.
No, Bonn. What are the magic words spoken aloud to access the cave in the story of Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves?
Open sesame.
Yes, in golf, what's the informal term thought to have originated in the 1930s from the surname of an amateur player for a retaken shot not recorded on the scorecard that's allowed to a player in a friendly game?
Rookie.
No, mulligan, the organ of Corti, which contains hairs that translate sound into nerve impulses, is located within which structure of the inner ear?
Inner ear.
No, the cochlea. Which Budapest-born restaurateur and food critic who died in 2010, I've started so I'll finish, had moved to the UK after the Second World War and published his first food guidebook in the mid-1950s?
Robert Carrier.
No, it was Egon Ronay.
Really.
And Roe, you had two passes. The name of the football stadium in Glasgow, home to the stand previously known as the Govan Stand. It's Ibrox Stadium. And the term from the French for little bundle, traditionally applied to the clothing and household linen with which a bride began married life, trousseau. And at the end of that round, Roe, you have a total of 10 points.
Okay, thank you.
And next up, let's have Andrew. So, Andrew, you start with 7 points. You've now got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge, starting now. The most ancient and most noble order of the Thistle is the main chivalric organisation in which one of the home nations of the UK?
Scotland.
Yes. Which Japanese tennis player lit the flame at the opening ceremony of the Tokyo Olympics in July 2021?
Osaka.
Naomi Osaka, yes. The orange properties on a standard London Monopoly board are Bow Street, Marlborough Street, and which other property?
Vine Street.
Yes. What bird native to tropical regions of the Americas is distinguished by its huge, often colourful beak, the largest and best-known species being Ramphastos toko, which has a beak that can be half as long as its body?
Toucan.
Yes. What's the name of the author, born in Leeds in 1933, whose debut novel, A Woman of Substance, published in 1979, has sold more than 30 million copies?
Barbara Taylor Bradford.
Yes, the usual nickname of the US state of Georgia refers to which soft fruit produced in abundance there?
Peach.
Yes, the title of which musical that opened at London's Apollo Victoria Theatre in 2006 is a word meaning evil, although it has become a modern slang term for excellent?
Wicked.
Yes, which British composer wrote the pieces Crown Imperial, performed at the coronation of George VI, and Orb and Sceptre, commissioned for the coronation of Elizabeth II?
Walton.
William Walton, yes, a phrase used by Adam Smith in his 1776 work Wealth of Nations and often attributed to Napoleon, describes England as a nation of what?
Shopkeepers.
Yes, which mountain in ancient Greece was sacred to the gods Apollo and Dionysus, as well as to the Muses?
Olympus.
No, Mount Parnassus. In which American city is there a museum of science and industry located on the shore of Lake Michigan?
Chicago.
Yes, which knighted British actor who starred in films such as The Heiress and Long Day's Journey into Night was reported as saying that acting is merely the art of keeping a large group of people from coughing?
Niven.
No, Sir Ralph Richardson. The 1991 album Simply the Best, which reached number 2 in the UK, is a compilation of hits by which singer?
Turner.
Tina Turner, yes. What type of animal was Chi-Chi, who lived at London Zoo until her death in 1972 and was later preserved by taxidermy at the Natural History Museum?
Panda.
Yes, the 1962 artwork Marilyn Diptych, featuring 50 images of Marilyn Monroe, is a silkscreen painting by which American pop artist?
Andy Warhol.
Andy Warhol, yes. What name derived from the Latin word for egg is given to the pair of female reproductive organs in mammals that produce and release eggs?
Ovaries.
Yes. Which knighted Scottish singer and music hall entertainer was known for songs such as Roman in the Gloamin' and I Love a Lassie?
Connery.
No, Sir Harry Lauder, which Irish political party founded in 1933 and originally also, I've started so I'll finish, also called the United Ireland Party, has historically been the main opposition party to Fianna Fáil, but in June 2020 agreed to form a coalition government with them and the Green Party?
Fianna Gael.
It is Fine Gael. And Andrew, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got a total of 22 points.
Thank you.
And next up, let's have Graham. So, Graham, you start with 8 points. The score to beat, as it stands, is 22 points. And you've now got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge, starting now. In the name of a British university founded in 1895, the letters LSE stand for the London School of what?
Economics.
Yes, what's the common nickname of the section of the promenade in Blackpool that extends from the North Pier to the South Pier and historically featured sideshows and tourist attractions along its length?
The Mile.
No, the Golden Mile. The Circuit of the Americas, which began hosting the Formula One American Grand Prix in 2012, is on the outskirts of which city in Texas?
Houston.
No, Austin. What's the name of the precious gem referred to in the title of an 1868 detective novel by Wilkie Collins?
Emerald.
No, the Moonstone. The singer-born Sally Olwen Clarke, who topped the UK chart twice in the 1960s with singles entitled Sailor and This Is My Song, is better known by what first name?
Petula.
Yes. In 2018, Maureen Beattie was elected president of what British trade union, which represents actors and other performers?
Stage.
No, Equity. What popular variety of pasta has a name that translates roughly from Italian as thin strings?
Rigatoni.
No, Spaghetti. Eva Tagore, one of a number of women who made propaganda broadcasts on behalf of Imperial Japan during the Second World War, was given what nickname by the Allied soldiers?
Pass.
In what 2019 film does a detective played by Daniel Craig investigate the death of a famous mystery writer?
Knives Out.
Yes, which marine invertebrate with a spherical shell covered in sharp spines is sometimes known as the sea hedgehog?
Pufferfish.
No, the sea urchin. What's the English name for the stone staircase in Rome built around 1725 that connects the Piazza di Spagna with the Trinità di Monte church?
Spanish Steps.
Yes, what American television series first shown in 2016 and named after the city in which it's based stars Brian Tyree Henry as an up-and-coming rapper known as Paper Boy and Donald Glover as his cousin and manager Ern?
Pass.
Which Russian leader was chosen by Time magazine as its Person of the Year for 2007?
Putin.
Yes, Vladimir Putin. In what 1798 naval conflict, sometimes known as the Battle of Abukir Bay, did the British, under Nelson, defeat the French near Alexandria, Egypt?
Trafalgar.
No, the Battle of the Nile, Orly International Airport, is about 8 miles south of which European capital city?
Paris.
Yes, what name, partly derived from a Greek word for vessel, is given to the branch of biology concerned with the structure and function of plant and animal cells?
Biology.
No, cytology. Which French term that translates of status or finish as accomplished fact is used in English for something that has already been decided and cannot be changed?
I don't know.
It is fait accompli. You've got two others. The American television series, first shown in 2016 and named after the city in which it was based. It's Atlanta. And Tokyo Rose was the nickname Allied soldiers gave to Eva Tagore, one of a number of women who made propaganda broadcasts on behalf of Imperial Japan. And at the end of that round, Graham, you now have 14 points. And finally, let's have Anthony again. So, Anthony, you start with 13 points, the score to beat to get through to the Mastermind Grand Final. Is Andrew's 22 points. And you've now got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge, starting now. The word bloodshot is normally used to describe which organs when they're inflamed or red with tiredness?
Eyes.
Yes, what adjective describes the garden in the title of a 1911 book by Frances Hodgson Burnett about a 10-year-old girl, Mary Lennox, who is sent to live with her uncle?
Secret.
Yes, a 2016 film with the subtitle Resurgence is a sequel to what 1996 science fiction film?
Pass.
What name, after a Soviet foreign minister of the 1930s, 40s and 50s, is given to a crude incendiary device consisting of a bottle filled with a flammable liquid and stoppered with a soaked rag, which is lit before the bottle is thrown?
Molotov cocktail.
Yes, which English city between Bristol and Birmingham was known to the Romans as Glevum?
Gloucester.
Yes, in more than 40 cartoon shorts made by Warner Brothers, what's the name of the black and white cat who is an adversary of Tweety, the yellow bird?
Sylvester.
Yes, in August 2021, following the resignation of Andrew Cuomo, Kathy Hochul was sworn in as the first female governor of which US state?
New York.
Yes, which tabloid British National Daily newspaper was launched as a broadsheet in 1900 by Arthur Pearson?
Daily Mail.
No, the Daily Express. The 1960 Nobel Prize in Chemistry was awarded to the American scientist Willard Libby for developing a method to determine the age of fossils and archaeological relics using which chemical element?
Carbon-14.
Yes. Which minimalist American composer who wrote the operas Einstein on the Beach and Akhenaten is also well known for his work on films such as The Truman Show and The Hours?
Glass.
Yes, Philip Glass. Asuncion is the capital city and main port of which South American country?
Paraguay.
Yes. What three-letter name is given to the partly digested food that's regurgitated from the first stomach of animals such as cattle back to the mouth for further chewing?
Cud.
Yes. Which singer who died in 1997 had a UK #1 single in 1974 with Annie's Song?
John Denver.
Yes. Which BBC digital radio station aimed at fans of contemporary black music was launched in August 2002 with a 5-hour opening show by DJs Rampage and KC?
Radio 6.
No, one extra. What word for a device that's used as an everyday means of communication is derived from the Greek for far away and sound?
Telephone.
Yes. What was the surname of Daniel, the jeweller and glasscutter born in Bohemia, whose namesake company, founded in 1895, has used an Edelweiss flower and, more recently, a swan as its logo?
Swarovski.
Yes. In Alfred Hitchcock's 1960 horror film Psycho, Marion Crane, the victim in the famous shower scene, is played by which actress?
Janet Leigh.
Yes, it was Janet Leigh. Anthony, you just had one pass. The 2016 film with the subtitle Resurgence is a sequel to Independence Day. And at the end of that round, Anthony, you've done it. 27 points.
Great. Thanks.
So let's have a look at the final scores. In fourth place with 10 points, it's Ro. In third place with 14 points, it's Graham. In second place with 22 points is Andrew. And in first place with 27 points, it's Anthony, which means that he goes through to the grand final. Congratulations to him. If you would like to be a contender in the next series, please go to our website, bbc.co.uk/mastermind, and you can follow us at Mastermind Quiz. Join us again next time for more Masterminds. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Going into the general knowledge round, I wasn't overly confident because I still had to get 10 or 11 points. So just had to take a deep breath and just hope I could attain enough points in that round.
The score to beat to get through to the Mastermind Grand Final is Andrew's 22 points. Which English city between Bristol and Birmingham was known to the Romans as Glevum?
Gloucester.
Yes.
John Denver.
Yes.
Janet Leigh.
Yes.
Revision for the final. I'll begin as soon as I get back home. I'll have my head in the books, no doubt, and try not as hard, but even harder than I have for the previous two rounds, because to take home a famous Mastermind class ball would be out of this world. It'd just be brilliant.